Hello, Bijou's Kitchen. It has been a couple of years since I've posted. And I wanted to, sorry, I have hiccups, come on this year and share about my mental health journey. I feel like it will help people. I feel like I'm called to do so. And I felt like that for a little bit, and I've been looking for the proper outlet and a proper way to do it. I have been struggling the past couple of years with depression, and I feel like I'm on solid ground right now, despite my appearance, which I'm going to attribute to my mental health. I am in a much better place. Along with my mental health, I've had to deal with my daughters now. And talking with her really made me want to share with other people again. I remember I've been hospitalized a couple of times for my depression and suicidal ideations. And when I'm in hospital, people tell me that I'm really good at expressing what they're feeling, what they're thinking, and how they feel about their mental health. I'm able to put words to their pain. And I'm hoping that I can do that for somebody else out here who has been looking to try to explain it. I have been blessed to watch many videos and doom scrolling on like ADHD. Found that there are some creators out there who are really gifted at putting words to what it feels like to be blessed with ADHD. It's a superpower, but it can be a bit much, right? And I look at mental health disorders as a superpower. I say that because some of the greatest artists, I want to say Van Gogh, that's what comes to the top of my head, the one who cut off his ear, right? Suffered with bipolar, probably. And many other creative people and scientific people suffered with mental health issues. The same way a lot of scientists were on the spectrum. These are superpowers that torment you, allow you to see the world differently, allow you to have empathy, allow you to be creative and open, but tortured. There's so much that runs through my mind when I think of mental health, and so much that I want to say. But I want to start with suicide ideations for family and friends. And for anyone who suffered with someone who's committed suicide. I want to say to you that that person fought hard to stay here, to regulate their thoughts, to see through the bullshit of it. But when you're in that state, it's hard to have clarity. One of the things I told my daughter is that when you have a mental health disorder, your perception is off. You can't see things for what they are. And sometimes that allows you to create something beautiful and to catch things that someone else didn't notice because your perception is different. to acknowledge and see things that other people would have missed. Ooh, I wanted to honk my horn, but I didn't want to disturb you guys. This person just cut in front of me so close. I went on a spiritual retreat and found out that a young man that I used to mentor committed suicide. He was in youth group, but I was one of the leaders. And that was when I really felt that I needed to start talking about suicide. And I told his stepmom that he fought, that he tried to find a way out, that he tried to stay for her and his family. But when you are sick, self-preservation goes out the window. And if you weren't sick, it wouldn't have happened. People want to live. People will do anything to survive. If you ask me, that's why racism exists so much, because people feel that their livelihood is threatened, and so they're fighting to not become extinct. But that's another topic for another day, right? These videos in the beginning are going to be crude. They're not going to be well polished. I just wanted to start somewhere. Suicide ideations plagued me for many years. And when I was younger, they were just thoughts that were passing. And moments that were overwhelming. But as I got older, they became consistent. They became a part of my everyday, my every moment. I would think, donuts. We could use that knife to cut our wrist. Oh, I wonder if they have milk for that. And it was just that simple for me. It wasn't that anything had to happen to make me suicidal. Life didn't have to be bad. A lot of times, I would argue that my life was quite well. It was good. My family loves me. They drive me crazy. They do. Not all love is healthy love, right? I had a good job that I loved, that I was good at, that I was getting kudos from. I was getting accolades. I was making pretty decent money. I was doing things that I loved. At one point it was cooking. At other points it was hospitality, where I got to just be pleasant and make memories for people. And it brought me so much joy to see that. I got to cook and make food and hear people praise it and enjoy it, and that brought me so much joy. Like it puts me on a high when I cook and people enjoy it. But I still wanted to die. It was out of my control. I want people who are going through suicide to know that they're not alone. That I understand that they can't control these thoughts. It doesn't mean that they can't overcome those thoughts. You can't control what you think about 100%. You can put things out there, but the more someone says, don't think about a pink elephant, you think about a pink elephant. Don't push the button. You feel compelled to push the button. I want people's mental health journeys to be normalized. I know this post is kind of all over the place, but I do hope it's speaking to someone, that it's helping somebody. I want those suffering with suicide to know that I don't believe that you're going to hell. If for some reason you don't win this battle, and that's what it is, it's a battle. It can be considered a spiritual battle, an emotional battle, a mental battle. I don't care what kind of battle you think it is. It's a battle. And I say you're not going to hell because you're sick. If you weren't sick, you would want to fight for your life. But you are, so you're willing to give it up. And I don't think God punishes sick people. If you died from cancer, He wouldn't punish you. So if you died from a mental health issue that is beyond your control, I don't believe He punishes you. That's not what a loving God would do. I don't care what religion you're a part of. And if you're Christian, it's not in the Bible. Different religious groups have said that. And God does not condone death, but He allowed war and fought on behalf of His people. There are exceptions to the rules. And in the Bible, it talks about Paul wanting to kill himself and Elijah wanting to kill himself. And I can't tell you exactly where in the Bible it is, but it's in there. And again, it's not to say that killing yourself is what God wants you to do. And neither one of them did it, but it's an affliction that is old. Wanting to end your life is not a new thought. It is old. It is not you're not the first one with this affliction. So you're not alone. And I believe that God forgives. And I believe that He's trying to help you heal. But the same way some people don't live from cancer, you may not live from this disease. And I want you to be at peace with that. And that might be controversy, that I'm telling you to give up, but I'm not. I'm telling you to fight. But if you lose this fight, it's not because you didn't fight hard enough. You fought as hard as you could, just like someone with cancer did, but you were weak and you couldn't beat it. And that happens with illness sometimes. I want people that are watching who have family members who are struggling with mental health to know that they are fighting as hard as they can, even when it doesn't look like they are, because the battle is in the mind. And even when we use it as an excuse to get over, it still torments us. Alright, this is a long video. Ooh, the last thing I want to say is if you are struggling with suicide, people will tell you to, you have so many reasons to live. And you do. There's thousands of reasons to live. I recommend you pick small things. For me, I have a daughter. And that's a big thing. Wanting to stay alive for her was just too much. Because you also feel like the people in your life are better off without you. They will make it. And they will. Or they won't. It definitely affects family and friends in ways you cannot predict. You taking your life, or them going through any death, losing anyone. But especially when someone chooses, as they say, to take their life. That's not really a choice. right? When you're sick and this happens and they don't understand it, it's a lot. I recommend in your fight that you find small reasons to stay alive. I had my pineapple plants. I just needed to stay alive to water my pineapple plants because nobody else was going to do it. I would stay alive just to pick up my daughter from school because I didn't have anyone else to pick her up and I didn't want her to be alone. I couldn't stay alive for her to grow up and to raise her and to see her get married. She's still really young. But all those big goals were just too big for me. It was too much. But picking her up from school was a realistic goal. I couldn't imagine staying alive for another 10, 20, 30 years when I'm in this battle. I can only do the small fights. So I recommend you find small things. A bowl of cereal. I just need to stay alive so I can have a bowl of Captain Crunch, and I have to go to the store and get it, and then we can reevaluate after that. I really want pho. I at least deserve a bowl of pho. Vietnamese soup, delicious, before I go to heaven or pass away. I just want to make it to this one more event. I worked really hard and I just want to see how it turns out. I just have to make it to the morning. I'll go to sleep. I can fight that way. Sleep is an amazing way to fight. So, I don't know when I'm going to post again, but I am hoping to start posting to look better as my mental health and my life allows it to. I know this was long and all over the place, but I am hoping that it helps somebody.